As a New Zealander, as a Maori man, I have only just now realized a massive dream. I have been gifted a pair of the world's first 3D printed jandals. It's a big moment for me. If you don't know, the word jandal is a synonym for flip-flops, or in Australia, they're called thongs. Jandals is a play on the Japanese sandal, and this particular piece of footwear is quite possibly the most celebrated piece of footwear in all of New Zealand history. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the importance and the relevance of this unassuming piece of footwear and its position in New Zealand folklore. And I'm also going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the recent flip-flop trend that has played out over the course of this past summer. And I'm also going to be giving you guys an exclusive review and look at the recently released Havaianas collaboration with Zellerfeld. There's a bit of irony in being a sneaker collector and being from New Zealand, because you see, if you're from New Zealand, there's a pretty good chance that you've spent large parts of your life not being in any shoes at all. There's basically three main footwear choices in New Zealand for most people. One is bare feet. In the wintertime, bare feet with socks. The second most common footwear of choice is jandals. And the third main footwear of choice are gumboots. But wearing shoes? Bro, that's not common. Shoes are for rich people. Growing up in New Zealand in the summertime, especially during the holidays, people go the whole summer without wearing shoes. We're talking indoors, we're talking outdoors, camping, going to the supermarkets. People that you know will go so long without wearing shoes that by the time they actually do wear shoes, they seem like they're a different person. It's a bit confusing. They've all of a sudden taken on a completely different guise, and you've found out things about them when they have shoes on that you didn't know about them when they were barefoots, like they have kids or they have a job. If it's an emergency, you opt for the jandals. Jandals are perfectly appropriate formal attire. It's not uncommon to see people attend weddings wearing jandals. And they also happen to be a fantastic weapon for disgruntled parents to use in order to discipline their children. Wearing jandals evokes a certain type of attitude towards a very laid back, very relaxed, very chilled out lifestyle. A lifestyle that most people in New Zealand are pretty happy to enjoy. Obviously, the jandal is a much more practical piece of footwear to wear in the summertime. And it's actually this past summer that the jandal trend has actually popped off in a somewhat mainstream way. So let's talk about that. If you missed the trends, a little bit like I did, I'm not blaming you. It's a little bit interesting to me that a seasonal piece of summer footwear was somehow miraculously called a trend this past summer, as opposed to every other summer when people tend to rock out primarily in jandals. But that's what we saw from the fashion blogs and the influencer content mill. Flip-flops or jandals had been turned into a trend because the fashion mainstream told us so. And it sort of felt like this was very much a manufactured trend in line with what we've been seeing in a lot of other footwear trends in recent times. What we did see happen with the flip-flop trend over the summer is slight variations in terms of the way the flip-flops have been constructed. And that is going to bring us on to this latest piece of footwear that was sent to me by Zellerfeld. It's the collaboration with Havaianas. These are called the Top Toes, and it's a jandal come tabby shoe. It's a one-piece 3D printed flip-flop jandal. It's got the Havaianas branding on it like you would normally see on a pair of Havaianas. It's got a little bit of the Zellerfeld logo action on the inside. It's got the classic Zellerfeld infill in the footbed. And then it's got this interesting mold that basically covers the dogs. And this sculpted, molded overlay around the toe area gives the jandal a somewhat more elevated, formal look. Like if you were to wear these in New Zealand to a wedding, there's every chance you'd be chastised for being overdressed. In terms of the materials, it's the classic Zellerfeld, like Zellerfoam patented technology. The mold that covers the toes is quite firm to the touch. Like, these do feel like they would offer a decent amount of protection if, say, someone was to mistakenly stand on you, which is very much a known about hazards in jandal wearing life. And so from a practical standpoint, these do feel like they would be the type of jandals you could like wear if you were working in construction. They've got a spiral outsole, which affords a decent amount of traction, it looks like. So these things sold out in all colorways. They were $90, and I'm not gonna lie, $90 for a pair of jandals, bro, that is crazy. $9 for a pair of jandals is very expensive. Remember, the alternative to jandals is bare feet, and that's free. So anything more than free from a New Zealand's perspective is like, bro, like they better be some flash jandals for $9. These for $90 are not going to get much play back home in New Zealand, that's for sure. In fact, you would be suitably mocked in New Zealand if you paid $90 for some jandals. Like, that would be a hard one to come back from. Even though they were $90, these things sold out really quick. It was a very exclusive release. Not many pairs of these were made available, and the fits and the feel, if you did order a pair and you're wondering if you got the right size, I would say if you went true to size, absolutely fine. If you went a half size up, you should be fine. The only tricky one with these is going like a half size down, which I wouldn't really recommend. Better to have a little bit of extra space in the footbed than not. In terms of the comfort, yeah, really nice. This infill is really soft and really squishy. They don't feel too flimsy for a jandal, like they are fairly robust, so I would imagine these things should be pretty long lasting. Timing of this release for us in the Northern Hemisphere is a little bit off. We're just coming into autumn, just coming into winter time. These things aren't really going to be getting a lot of play outdoors for the next, hate to say it, but the next 6 months, honestly. If you happen to be in Australia, New Zealand, somewhere in the Southern Hemisphere, good timing for this particular release. But honestly, for me, apart from maybe wearing these around the house a little bit, I will probably put these on ice to break out next summer. Or maybe if I do happen to go home during the New Zealand summer, this would be a pretty audacious pair of jandals to take back home. I mean, I would be the envy of pretty much all the fashion MFs back home if I had on a pair of jandals that were 3D printed that have the tabby toe. I mean, these are some absolute fashion MF jandals right here. And so my overall review coming from the Kiwi perspective is that $90 as a Kiwi is like a crazy price to pay for jandals. Remember, $9 is too much. But if I'm looking at it from a sneaker content creator, someone that actually got sent a pair of these for free, I think they're fantastic. For free? Bro, these are amazing. Like the design, brilliant. The branding, amazing. Like, what a collab. That's my thoughts. That's the backgrounds on the history of jandals, man. If you guys were interested, hope you guys enjoyed that little take. And yeah, listen, thanks for messing with the content, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.